Greetings to the world. I am still Cam, Coach Cam as they call me. Some other people call me some other things, but we'll leave that off. This is still the Real Resilience Talk podcast. This is episode 5 today, everyone. And if you liking the sounds behind you, that's Second Winds by, I'm probably going to murder this, he going to hurt me, he going to kill me, but Monchichi Rex right there. That's Uncle Rex, as my kids call him, but Second Winds. And that's kind of what we talk about today, and we're trying to talk about every time. It's about the subject of resilience, but we want to keep it real, keep it honest. So I'll tell you right now up front, look, you might hear some bad words, okay? Or what you, and how you've been raised or what you've been told is bad words. That's okay. Hopefully you also hear some good words. Hopefully we'll be able to leave that with you today. But the essence of what we're trying to get to is to be real and honest and candid about the subject of resilience and how can we be better in taking care of ourselves and taking care of others, and what the fuck is the real deal with all of this. This ain't no PowerPoint, this is not no bumper sticker, this is not no pamphlet, this is humans getting together to talk about real shit and how it might apply, and hopefully it can do some good. Hopefully it can do some good. That's our whole goal. We are in no direct affiliation with anyone in the United States government, with the Department of Defense or anything like that. We may happen to be veterans sometimes on this show, but that does not mean we speak at all on behalf of anyone other than ourselves. This is our own personal opinions, our own personal takes on the subject of resilience. I'm sure y'all tired of hearing me say it, but what's resilience to me is what Stallone said to his son in Rocky 13 or whatever the hell it was. It's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's my definition, and today we're very blessed and grateful to have an awesome guest on the show, Mr. Benjamin. Holla at you. Say hi to Benjamin.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
We appreciate you being here, man. So Benjamin, real quick, man, we're talking about resilience, and I said for me, it's ain't about how hard you hit, about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, right? There's many ways to say it. People call it bounce back. People call it rebound. People, whatever, right? Keep moving on, all that good shit.
That's right.
What is resilience to you, my friend?
Well, first off, I'd like to say that I love that scene from the movie, the Rocky movie. That when I'm down in the dumps and I'm looking through like inspirational quotes and stuff like that particular thing always gets me. It's like, it's not about how hard you get hit. It's how, no, wait, it is about how hard you get hit.
Yeah. It's about how you hit, about how you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
That's how what it is done. Sorry, I'm a diva. I had to.
No,
I
love it.
I had
love
to do
it.
my monologue. So.
It's actually the same concept is in my favorite movie. It's this movie called Real Steel. And
Yeah?
it's the exact same concept. It's basically like Rocky, but with robots.
Oh, is that the one with the dude who played
It's
Wolverine?
Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know that
great movie, but basically the exact same
Do
concept.
they have that
is-
Slim Shady on the soundtrack too?
They do.
Yeah, they do,
And it's
yeah.
like, that's fantastic.
Why would
yeah.
Cam know that? Oh shit! Here I am fulfilling stereotypes. Yep, Eminem's on the soundtrack. Everybody.
Yep. So, so resilience, I think everybody has kind of like a basic definition of it. It simply means to keep going when times get tough and you keep getting hit. And I think it's important that everybody can kind of like get their own definition and figure out what it means to them. And for me, I guess, it really is just that. It's kind of like to keep moving forward no matter how hard things are. And sometimes you got to dig deep, and sometimes that's all you can do is just keep going. And sometimes when you wake up and you're breathing, and that is the best you can do, is that you wake up.
That is the best you could do. Just wake up, get up,
Yeah.
move forward. And that momentum's real. Like, and I like that you even said, just right off the cuff, something that you do when you're down, when you're out, when you're not feeling it is you listen to these things. Maybe it's the Rocky thing, or you watch the Real Steel. But sometimes it's all we need is just that little bit of something just to keep us going. And I know there's going to be listeners out there. Look, I'm with you. On half the time, I'll sit here and go, man, that's some corny-ass shit, man. Man, that's corny as shit. I don't hear no Rocky movie. That's some fake-ass shit, right? I got it, but that might be that one little dose, that one little mantra, that one little line, that one little spark of positive that you need that day that's going to fill you up to just get you on to that next thing. And then, hey, this too shall pass. Maybe that mood, maybe that down feeling, maybe that'll pass. It'll get you out of that rut for a second, but just to gain that momentum and start having kind of a positive snowball effect. What'd you say about that?
You're going to have to go back.
No, I'm
There's
saying
a lot of points
about
there.
about gaining momentum, about, in those times where you said, like, you're feeling down, you're feeling out, you get a little bit of something. Can that, spark momentum enough to where you can stay on a good path for that day or for that week or for that hour? Fuck, it's sometimes just minute by minute, man.
Sometimes, for sure. There's times where like I'll hear something inspirational, or I'll just have like a little miniature revolution in my mind about.
Miniature revolution. I
Yeah,
like that.
just I don't know, something a person said, or just something I thought, and it does help. And you get these little, like I said, miniature revolutions, and it makes you feel a little better for a minute. But I find the hardest part about it is that like your brain just has this habit of getting back into the old rut that it was in before, and it can be impossibly hard sometimes to not get back into that. And I'm still working on, I'm still struggling with it, trying to figure out like how do I maintain that optimism, because you've got these problems that you deal with, and maybe it'll be like for me, for example, as you know, not too long ago, I got out of a pretty bad breakup. I've been really struggling with that, and I'll have times where I feel pretty good about it, and I'm like, you know what, I'm okay. This was the right thing to do. Like, I'm gonna be okay. But then, just a few hours later, I'm back at it again. I'm down in the dumps, and I'm just like, man, I miss her, And then I'll go back into the other thing. I'll be like, no, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And so, I wish I could say it's a snowball effect. And it does get better over time, but it's just kind of like you just have to keep pushing.
So that snowball effect is pretty much a myth, right?
Sometimes.
I agree. I kind of threw it out there so we could disagree with it, right? Because I don't think, okay, yes, today I'm on a roll. Well, guess what? Tomorrow, I'm fucking not. Or like you said just 4 hours later, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
And that's the realness of this thing. There's no real like, oh, well, I built up and now I'm great. Nah, it's kind of, a lot of times we've talked about it. There's probably some people that hear us out here and they're like, God damn it, they talk about the gym or working out or exercise one more time. But it's an easy way to reference something. Well, I can also reference something that you do as well, but just exercise. You cannot get in shape off of one workout, nor can you work out for 3 years straight, right? And then stop for 7 and then expect at the 10-year mark, I'm still in shape.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not realistic, and that's hard because that's not comfortable because we have to continue to put in the work, but it's not just the physical of exercise, it's also the work on ourselves. And what are some things, you got the mantras, you got the things. What is something that you do in your life? And yeah, I'm setting this up with, this is a loaded question. What's something that you do in your life that you use as an outlet to put your pain, your suffering into? Because I've seen you many a times, and I'm blessed by it for seeing it. And if you want to see it, come out and see it. I'll tell y'all how in a little bit. But he takes his pain, he takes his experience, and this man, just know one day we'll have to pay to sit on the microphone with Benjamin. But can you tell me more?
Okay. Well, what Coach is referring to is I like to put my pain in my music. I've always liked to express myself through music, like singing songs, and I play guitar and sometimes a little bit of piano, and that's how I met Coach. Is I went to this open mic night, this poetry night, and I went up and I sang and let my heart out a little bit, and then not too long later, a couple weeks, I had written a song and I came back and I performed that for him, and it really does help, and it helps for 2 reasons. It helps because you have all this pent-up emotion, and you just want to kind of like let it out. You want something to happen because of your pain. You want a reaction because of your pain.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to sing and to have this emotional music, being let out, it does help. But it also helps because after I wrote that song, it made me realize that I'm not just some random guy. Like, I may have lost this girl and stuff, and I feel like a loser right now, but I'm just like, would a loser have written such an incredible song like this?
Hell no.
And it made me feel so proud of myself. And I was like, I don't care if anybody hears this song. I just wrote this, and I'm
Y'all gonna hear
proud
this
of
song
myself.
one day, I'm telling you.
Yeah, we're hoping to get it out there, but I was just like, you know what? Like, I bet I can sing this at the poetry night next time, and even if one person shows up, I'm just so proud of myself for that. And I realized that is the thing that helps me feel better the most and move on the most is when I improve myself, or I do things that I know I'm good at, and I show myself it's like, I do have things to offer people, and I'm not a loser. I'm not just some guy.
No,
I'm
you're
good
not.
at certain things. I can be caring, and I can be, I'm a good singer or guitar player or something like that. Anyway, and so yeah, and just going back over it and stuff like that, I let out these emotions by writing music, and it really does help to cope with things. 'Cause
How did you get into that though? Like for anybody listening out there, they're like, okay, that's great if I had a fucking special talent,
Right.
So when I'm stressed out and stuff, but for those who've never ventured down the road, like how did you get into it, and how did you get into just the arts? Because we do the open mic night, which open mic is open for anything, and we done, some people.
Yeah.
We've had people show up and do tricks with their dogs, and it's been entertaining. It's just
That's awesome.
I'm serious. You've heard the poetry, you've seen my garbage ass try comedy. People try different things because it's just we support and defend the First Amendment, right? And nothing's hateful or anything's divisive. It's just how can we use our First Amendment kind of group together, which we haven't been able to do in a long time, and express ourselves, right? But for the people out there who like, that's not an outlet for me, and that's what we're really getting into is healthy outlets. So music is a healthy outlet for you. How did you find music?
Music has kind of always been something for me. My dad was a pastor,
Okay.
and so my family's always in ministry and stuff like that. And although I wouldn't consider myself a religious person, I kind of always was into music.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where, when I was like 2 years old, they said that I was just singing little songs like,
Wow.
I think I was singing "Jesus Loves Me" in the
Yeah.
train. And when I got older, I had a crush on a girl, and women can be the most motivating thing. So
For sure.
I had a crush on a girl, and my dad gave me a guitar as a gift, and she found out, and then she was like, "You play guitar?" And I was like, I didn't play guitar at the time, and I was like,
"Yeah."
I'm gonna learn guitar. And I was like, yes, I do play guitar, as a matter of fact. And then then I just learned it. I just motivated myself and started learning it. And once I did that, then I started writing songs, and I started trying to and then once I did it the first time, which was just to impress this girl,
Yeah.
I realized that it was an outlet for me. And any time that I would get really emotional about something, I would try to write a song. I would sometimes wake up in the middle of the night and I would just be like inspired and just be like, I need to say it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have no one to say it to. Maybe no one will ever hear 90% of the songs that I've written, but to say it to yourself, to have it recorded,
Right.
is just so therapeutic at times.
Wow, that's real right there, because like the process of just creating, like and just having something like a sense of accomplishment. I mean, we are all searching for that, just a sense of accomplishment. Even like something as silly as landscaping, right? Like it feels like a chore, it feels like something you have to do. But when you're done and you can see your work, or like in what you're saying, you can see that you've actually wrote a song, you put it on paper, or you've recorded it. It's a real thing now. Like it's real matter in the universe now.
Yeah.
Like you've done that from your brain, from your idea, and that's a really fulfilling feeling.
And I tell you what, is that a lot of people, like as you mentioned before, music may not be their thing.
That's right.
Maybe they don't know how to play any instruments, or maybe they don't like to sing. Maybe it's just not their thing. But I would say that even just talking, and like I said, when you have it on a piece of paper or on a video or on a recording, to express your thoughts and to be like, this exists.
Yes.
I said it exists, and then you can see, you're recording right there, and it'd be like, I said it out loud. Somebody was listening to me, even if they weren't. It feels like it was.
Yeah, for sure.
That's something I would say that just about anybody can do, and that's something that like when I'm feeling down in the dumps and I can't write a song, I just turn on a camera and I record myself talking as if I'm like on a TV show or something like that.
Really?
And sometimes it really helps. And like, I don't ever show anybody these videos. It's for me. And because it makes me feel listened to, and it makes me feel like, like I can talk about my problems and stuff like that. Cause you can have therapists and things like that, and that's great. But sometimes you just need to, do it in the middle of the night or something like that. And that's what works for me sometimes.
That's healthy, man. I mean, that's where I've kind of found it with writing. And a lot of times people are like, well, I'm not no writer, I'm not no journal. That's fine. And some of y'all have heard me say this before, whether I don't think I've talked about it on a podcast yet, but there's a ditty out there. And for those of you who are in our line of work, you know what ditties are. They're cool little acronyms that you can kind of break down on something to do. So the idea here is GGBBR. And it takes less than 5 minutes. So you're like, I don't even know what to write. Like, and that's the truth. I've heard people for years say, journal, write it, or express it, record it, whatever. But the first G is to express something you're grateful for. It could be anything. It could just be, hey, I'm grateful that I'm not in a concentration camp right now, or I'm grateful that I have legs, or I'm grateful that I don't have diabetes or cancer at this moment, or whatever the case may be, right? Don't know. Grateful for a person, whatever. One thing you're grateful for, then acknowledge, because a lot of times we're our own worst critics. Acknowledge something you did good, right? Acknowledge something you did good. And then the next B is something you did bad. You know, all throughout the day, there's many mistakes we make. Just what's something you did bad? And then the other B is, how can you make that better? How can you do that? How can you avoid that mistake? So you're kind of dissecting your day or your hour or whatever it is, but it gives you a kind of prompt to kind of go. And then the last R is to reflect. And you'd be surprised once you kind of go down that little skeleton, that little ditty of GGBBR, where it can go after that. And I will provide I'm not that smart to have come up with that ditty, by the way. There's a very smart gentleman. I read it on the Medium platform, an article, and I'll post it with this podcast when it's on there in the show notes. But it's a great article, and it's just something to be able to reflect, to have a little bit of dose of gratitude, but it kind of shifts your mind, too, to where, A, you have that sense of accomplishment, which you were just talking about, but also that G, it's weird, you kind of start thinking and looking for things to be grateful for, which, man, the way we look at things can curtail and help out so fucking much. That doesn't mean with rose-tinted glasses or that there's pie in the sky and everything's all perfect, but to be able to be searching for things to be grateful for, vice searching for things to be not grateful for, or searching for what the fuck is gonna go wrong now today? Oh, here we go, this shit again, right? Or I love it when you be like, hey man, how you doing? And be like, another fucking day. Like, god damn, somebody didn't wake up today, man. Like, fuck. Like, I'm not saying that you gotta be fake about it, but like, can I get a little bit of positivity? Holy shit, you did wake up today. There's many people that didn't wake up today. And if nothing else, you have that to be grateful for. You have an able body or able mind, or at least you can hear the words I'm fucking saying right now. And there's some people that would love to just be able to hear. But before I go off on my crazy ass tangent, on my podcast within a podcast, I'm just trying to say that as you do with music, or you do with writing and creating things and creating a video, which you can do that as well. You can do it on your phone, you can do it video, you can do it on your voice notes, voice memos, whatever it may be. But to express. I love, I think it's a tribute to Bruce Lee, but he says to live is to express, and to express is to live. And that really,
that's powerful.
To live is to express is to live. And I mean, what are we doing here, right? Like, sometimes you said it earlier, it's so therapeutic just to get it out there. Yeah. And like that act of getting it out there, just like it synthesizes it, and it can kind of, have you ever seen it to where like you thought of it one way, you put it down on paper, or you put it out on a piece of art, and then you felt differently about it afterwards?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, like that process, like just tell me. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, I'll be straight up. Like, I mean, I did that just last night. That I recorded a video of myself and was explaining just all the things I was going through, like, and as I started kind of explaining, I was telling a story about some stuff that happened, and the moment that I said a certain thing, I just stopped and I was like, wow, I guess I never thought of it that way. Just saying it out loud, and it clicks, it sinks in, and you kind of just like, wow, and it really helped me too, because it made me realize that, like, you know, the snowball effect, though, can work in a negative way. That sometimes you do have negative thoughts, and it can be like they pile up on each other, and you start to, you know, think about more negative things and more negative things, and you don't really let logic sink in sometimes.
Because we're so emotional?
Yeah, you get emotional.
Yeah.
And then at some point, you know, and when I start to explain it to people, and it's not just when I talk to myself about it, but when I talk to other people about it, sometimes I'll just say something, and it'll hit me, and I'll be like, wow, that's different than I was, that I felt about it. That made me realize it's not like that. And so absolutely, when you write something down and then you go back and you look at it, and it helps you get a more big picture perspective over it.
Ooh, that's real right there.
And what you said earlier, I just want to point out is the whole being grateful for what you do have, and not just, you know, focusing on what you don't have or what happened to you or things like that. That is so powerful. Being grateful for things. I mean, I can't express enough how much that helps me. It's almost like the difference between, like, you know, you're in a dark room, you light a candle. It's like there is no resistance. The light penetrates the darkness, absolutely. And whenever I can find something to be grateful for, it's like the most powerful thing. And you just have to change your perspective. You find your situation, you figure out your situation, you be like, okay, maybe this happened and this happened. But when you imagine how bad it could be,
yeah,
you're like, maybe I couldn't have, maybe there was a chance I didn't wake up today, but I did.
Yep.
Maybe there is a chance I didn't brush my teeth today, but I did.
Right.
Or you think, I could have no arms and legs.
Or you could be grateful for the fact that that one stank breath motherfucker at work actually brushed their teeth. Because there's those ones too.
Yes.
Damn, do you not do proper hygiene? What the fuck is going on?
Absolutely.
Because some people come to work, I'll be honest, like they just literally rolled out of bed and ate a shit sandwich on the way to work and then is now talking to everybody. So I've expressed gratitude for some people without a stank breath. So that's
For sure.
That's something to be grateful for.
That's all it takes is you find these little things. You find these little things to be grateful for, and those can snowball.
Yeah.
Those things do add up because the more that you start to get that mindset of I'm grateful for this, and you be like you feel like a rich man. You feel like you have everything you need.
Yes.
And maybe you don't, but when you change your perspective, that's all it takes.
Yes. And I like how you said, like, now,
Yeah.
right? Because, look, man, the fact of the matter is nobody gives a fuck about yesterday. Like, no matter if you're accomplished, and I love this. I read this from Susie Orman a few years ago in one of her books. It was like on financial advice and stuff, but one of the points she said, and many of people have said this in so many ways, is that you are what you do today. You are not what you did yesterday. And that helped me so much because of mistakes and guilt and shame that I have in my life for mistakes that I've made. I'm so happy that my mistakes are not on national television like so many of our famed people are because y'all wouldn't like me, I'll tell you that, at my worst moments, right? And I think if we're all honest, most of us wouldn't be liked nor loved or respected if our worst moments were out there for everybody to see. But I have a lot of things to be ashamed of. But in the positive sense, and weeding out negativity, I am what I do today. I am what I do today,
I love
right?
that.
And not what I did yesterday. So I really can't control any fucking thing of yesterday. Unless I'm learning from it or drawing appreciation to what is now, there is no use in looking in the rear view. It is all about looking forward, right? And being here right now. The other part of it is if you're an accomplished individual out there, or when I joined the fill in the blank, or in my day back when, right? If you want to shut off somebody that's young or not as accomplished as you, just open up sentences with stupid shit like that. I'm just going to tell you, because you are what you do today. Nobody gives a fuck about what you did yesterday. So I'm saying that because, you ever seen Napoleon Dynamite?
Yes.
You know Uncle Rico?
Yeah.
You can fuck around and be an Uncle Rico. That might not be your intent, and I'm saying there's times we need to draw on our experiences to be able to express things and to be able to maybe validate the perspective we have or something like that. But there are a lot of has-beens walking around right now calling themselves leaders in all industries, right? That are like, well, back when I fill in the blank, and back in, shut the fuck up. Because you just, right? You are what you do today. Janet Jackson said in the 80s, what have you done for me lately? And I'm not trying to say it has to be people doing things for you, but who are you today? Because last time I checked, you a has-been, and like, I wish I'd have known you back in 2000 or 1990 or 1980, whatever, but as of today, you kind of suck, right? So I think, but it works on both, it works in both spheres, because one, if you have mistakes, if you have shame, and you're listening to me right now, look, man, woman, whoever you are, looking back and dwelling on it is not going to do shit for you right now. Look back, maybe learn from it, okay, note it, got it, don't want to do that again, but move fucking forward. There are too many of us trapped in our lives, our childhoods, and we're 40-something years old, or we're 30-something years old, and we're still living in our heads and from the mistakes or the trauma, and things got to be worked out. So I'm not accredited in saying this, but dwelling, what do you say about that? Like, what are your thoughts?
It can be really hard not to dwell on the past. It's almost human nature at this point, because people just they want to not have something bad happen to them again. And I'm the first person that's gonna tell you that, like, I overthink about everything. I see one text message and I overthink about every single part of that text message or an action that I did. And I tell myself that if I think about it enough and I figure out why I did it, then I can prevent it in the future. Okay. And sure, there is merit to that. You can be like, okay, well, I probably did this because of this. But there's a point where you need to be like, I think the word for it is statute of limitations or something like that. It's like,
oh yeah, so it's like a time limit on how much to be like penalized or persecuted for this thing.
So it's like if it has been that long, and it's like you have put enough effort, enough time and thought into it, and you still haven't figured it out, then it's like, let it go.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, and that and sometimes it can be frustrating when people say those words because when they're downplaying something positive that happened or something like that. Or actually, what I meant to say is something negative that happened. Like if they did something that hurt you and you express that hurt you and they say it is what it is.
Okay.
And that can sting. But when you reverse it, it's like when you have something that happened and you think, well, you know what? It is what it is. Like it happened and, check, I'm still alive, still got all my limbs, still I'm okay. And if you keep focusing on the things that you do have and you don't meditate on the past and stuff like that, you have put enough thought into it. Mm-hmm. You did your best. You know what? I tell myself this thing that somebody told me just recently, and it has been so powerful for me. And they said, you can have screwed up so much in the past and stuff like that and made mistakes and things like that. And people can do horrible things to you. Horrible things can happen to you. But you just do your best. You don't give yourself an excuse to make fun of yourself or shame yourself. You do what you know is the right thing to do. And you rely on the fact, you take comfort in the fact that you did what you needed to do. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like if you're I'm trying to think of a specific example. If you're in a situation where no matter what you do, you're going to get screwed. And you could do the absolute best possible thing, and you're still going to get screwed.
So it's like a catch-22, a dilemma.
Yeah.
I heard recently, some people are going to laugh at this, a kerfuffle. You ever heard that fucking word?
No, I haven't. A kerfuffle.
It's like right-click dilemma or conundrum, and like kerfuffle comes up. Anyway, shout out to the source of kerfuffle. You know who you are. All right, sorry. So you're fucked no matter what.
No matter what you do, it's gonna end badly. There's gonna be something that goes wrong no matter what you do, and so you do the best thing you can do. And you take the information that you have and you give it your best, you give it your all, and you try. And if you still get screwed, then you got screwed. There's nothing you could do. And like I said, you take comfort in the fact that you're like, listen, I did the best I could with the information I was given.
Yeah.
I played my cards the best way I knew how, and I can't blame myself for that.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand so many times is when they regret something, when they say, I regret this action, that usually comes from a place of hindsight, where you see, it was so obvious, I shouldn't have done that. It's like, no, you didn't know that back then.
Right.
How could you have known that? And maybe you did know that, but maybe for some reason it didn't sink into you yet.
Yeah.
The only regrets that anybody should have is when they knew it was wrong. When they knew full well that what they were doing, they could see the future, the hindsight and all that and stuff. And that doesn't happen very often.
Like you made an informed mistake?
An informed mistake, exactly. You do something and you're sitting there and you think about it and you're like, I probably shouldn't do this. And then you do it, then you can be like, okay, maybe that one it's okay to regret. But
Right.
if most of the time people regret things that they would have done the exact same way and they had no knowledge to know if it was the right thing to do.
Because we only know what we know. And
Yeah.
based off of what you knew then,
Yeah.
or based off your culture, or how you were raised, or what, we talk about this, and I love it, Dr. Gabor Mate just came out with a book called The Myth of Normal, and I'm listening to it right now, and that's a great dude. But anyway, not to go down a tangent to him, but what the fuck is normal, right?
Right.
Everyone has
Right.
their own, it's a myth. It's a fucking myth as far as,
It's true.
What normal looks like to you doesn't mean that's what right looks like.
Absolutely.
You might have grown up watching bad relationships. You might have grown up
100%.
really horrible conflict resolution. You might have grown up watching people pleasing or gossiping or whatever the toxic thing can be.
Yeah.
And you just think that's normal because
Yeah.
you just don't know. And that's where, being open-minded or admitting, hey, I don't know. And that's okay, if you're ignorant. Now you know, don't do it again. But I will say that we all need help sometimes, and we're all broken in our own ways. I've talked about this probably to the point of nauseam as well on this show that other people have heard me say, but the comment a few years ago came out with that mental wellness letter. I'll post that as well in the show notes. But he says in there, Journell at the time, the comment out said that we are all broken, and we never get over it. And he puts it in quotations, like, we never really get over it. And that's the fucking truth. We have to learn how to cope. We have to learn how to still move forward with whatever that thing may have been.
Yeah.
Whatever your it was. It could have been the breakup. It could have been a death in the family. It could have been your actions caused to the passing of someone else. I don't know what that guilt or that it is, but we never get over it. We just have to learn how to cope. But we also have to understand too, and this is the big thing, kind of like the bomb gonna drop in here that I want everybody to understand. It's okay not to be okay and reach out for help. Like you might not know your way out of this thing. You may not be as blessed to have a talent or to have already been informed of, oh shit, I like music, I like how to write music. Maybe you just don't know. So here I know on Iwakuni, and I'm sure there's Bay equivalents in other places, but Building 411, the community counseling program, behavioral health, Doc Fernandez that works over at Branch Health Clinic. There are people to reach out to. There, obviously, we have chaplains too, great people. I mean, it doesn't have to be on the spiritual or the religious tip. They're just actually accredited counselors too. But there are people that you may not know the answer, and that's okay. And it's okay not to be okay. But what I've seen a lot of times, it was actually why I was almost late here today when we were setting this recording is, I had a person come over my home who just returned from a funeral service for a veteran who had killed themselves, who had committed suicide. And that's what I'm saying, and what I'm trying to get at is that snowball can go the opposite way, like you were saying, and people can feel alone, and then people can feel desperate, and they choose in their cloud of muck and their cloud of, just horrible stress and shame and guilt, they choose a permanent solution for a temporary problem. I love what you said too about zooming out, right? In Stoicism, they talk about that, taking like the bird's eye view and zooming out, right? And how petty do our problems feel? You know? I'll post the picture in the thing, and I heard it from Rogan one time, and I put it on my wall in my office. But they have the picture of the Earth and the whole galaxy, and it's like an arrow pointing to like where Earth is, and it's like. And there's you crying in the shower before work. But you know what I'm saying? Like zoom out, whatever your it may be. I'm not downplaying anybody's pain or trauma, but zoom out, it can really help out sometimes. We have to zoom in too, right? Because you're walking across the street, you can't be all zoomed out.
Absolutely.
You gotta watch out for a fucking car. Yeah. There's time and a place, right? But that zooming out, seeing the bigger picture, has that helped you in any circumstances?
Oh, 100%. You know what? That reminded me of this thing that a person said to me once, but they were saying you can take comfort in the fact that, and I don't mean this to be rude at all or anything like that, but they said you can take comfort in the fact that you really don't have that much influence on the universe.
Zow, man, say that again, please.
You don't have that much influence on the universe, and if you mess something up, even if you mess it up as bad as you could possibly mess it up, the moon is still gonna go up and down. Ooh. The sun is still coming up the next day.
Oh, amen to that, man. It's a Sunday too, so we're having a little.
That's right. Yeah.
With a PK. With a PK.
That's right. So it's powerful because when you're put in a position of responsibility, you think I have been given the responsibility to screw this whole operation up. And you get, you overthink and you think like, man, I can't make any mistakes. I can't let this happen, stuff like that. But then when you think, no matter what happens, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, this too shall pass.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass.
If I succeed, the sun comes up. If I fail, the sun comes up.
And if it doesn't, we got way bigger problems than your fucking shit.
Exactly. And oh man, like once you start to zoom out and you realize that it's like life is gonna go on, and you can take comfort in the fact that like maybe your life is screwed up.
It's true.
Maybe you hurt somebody, maybe somebody hurt you, maybe a family member passed, or you're ill, and maybe it's so hard to think of things that you're grateful for because you think, man, my life just sucks.
True.
Everything is going horribly. But you know what? Today is somebody's birthday.
That's true.
Today is a lot of people's birthday.
It is.
Someone was born today. Somebody probably confessed their love to the love of their life today, or proposed or something. Today was a fantastic day for somebody.
Somewhere right now, probably in our just 20-mile radius, somebody's taking a shit right now.
Yeah. That's true.
But it's all relative. Like it's all relative to what's going on with you. I think about it sometimes with like people that are contractors and it rains, right? They're like, fuck, now we can't work today, right?
Yeah.
Or working is not safe, so we have to call off certain operations that we were going to do, right? And
yeah.
Their cell phone business. But
you have another guy who's like, man, I love the rain. I'm so glad it rained today.
Or that farmer who needs to grow some crops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or that one T-ball coach who's like, fuck, I want to cancel practice tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's so relative to what's, people are like, okay, you're making jokes about T-ball and fucking, contractors and growing corn and shit like that, but you don't understand the pain in my life. You don't understand the pain that I've caused my own life and people around me. You're right. I don't know. And none of us know each other's pain through and through.
Yeah.
We have an idea or whatever it is maybe, but we don't really, you can't feel other people's pains directly. You just can't. You can empathize, you can sympathize, but you cannot feel their pain directly. So I give that to you. You're right. And we are all as unique as our fingerprints. So what hurts me might not hurt you, and vice versa, whatever that thing may be. So I'm not trying to downplay anybody's things, but when we can zoom out, right? And you know, it's funny we're talking about this because this morning I was listening to, it's an Oprah highlight reel on YouTube, right? I'll share that on there too. You can follow me on Coach Cam Campbell on Facebook, right? But anything to keep my tank full of positivity. But Oprah is an amazing human, and you might not like her all the time, but to say she doesn't say some good shit every now and then, you're lying, right?
Yeah.
But one of the things that she was talking about was that sometimes when you don't know what to do, she said, that's okay, that's when you need to get still. You need to get still for a second. And I've heard that so many times because we're looking for what's the next thing I gotta do? What's the next thing I gotta do? I'm stuck in this shit. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I've never heard this perspective before, but she said, then don't do anything right now. Just breathe and let the universe, let whatever deity you worship, you believe in, friends, family, just keep an open ear, open mind, open heart, and something will come to you. And that's very true. Like I think about times where I've made too quick of a decision. Again, no decision's ever gonna be perfect. You gotta be decisive sometimes, but there's also those times where you can overthink.
Absolutely.
And you can overdwell, and I need to find some type of solution or something. Just kind of sit for a second and just breathe, because at least you have the ability to do that, to breathe, literally. You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes that's the best you can do.
Is just to stop for a second and just breathe and realize this too shall pass. But also in saying that, maybe the solution or something that maybe not the one size fits all solution, maybe some of that help could be, hey, where's my sleep at right now? Hey, where's my hydration at right now? Hey, that thing that everybody keeps telling me about, this building 411 or whatever your equivalent is out there to the listeners, but there's some type of base resource place wherever you're at, right? Counseling, therapy, maybe meds. Like, it might not be one of those things per se that fix everything, but a conglomerate, like an omelet of positive, right? Little things may add up to where maybe your day's not as bad as it was yesterday. We got to stop searching for perfection is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
We got to stop searching for perfection. It's not out there, nor is happiness. Like, you can't, I just want to be happy. You're just going to keep on saying that shit.
Yeah.
Because happiness is a result of things. It's not something to be directly, it's not the direct mission. What do you say about all that? I know I just said a lot of shit, but I hope that made sense to somebody out there. I put the high definition in ADHD. How about that shit?
Put the high definition ADHD.
I put the high definition in ADHD. If you steal it, I know you stole it because it came from me. I say that shit.
Happiness, oh man, everybody just wants the happiness.
Yeah.
I mean, that's and honestly, it's one of the easiest things to achieve and sometimes one of the hardest things to achieve.
Ooh, explain more.
A question I've been thinking about a lot lately is, why is it so damn hard to love yourself? Why is it so hard? It's like, you know all of your achievements, but you know all of your failures. You know all of the thoughts that you never say out loud, and you know all the things that you have said out loud, and other people, they only get a slice of that pie. And that's all they can see is that slice of that pie. And sometimes they just get a really shitty slice.
That's true.
And they just don't like you for it. That doesn't mean it's the whole thing. That's not you. No one can know all of you.
Nah.
They can get pretty darn close sometimes, but no one can know
I don't even
everything.
think, if we're honest, that we know all of us all the
For
time.
sure,
Like,
for
it's
sure.
a constant moving target, right?
Yeah.
It's always evolving.
Yeah.
You know? What did Brian Callen say? The name of his special like 2 years ago was 3 years ago. One of the greatest comedy specials ever, Brian Callen, called Complicated Apes. That is exactly what we are.
Yeah.
You know, we're just some complicated, emotional creatures. We're complicated apes, but I just totally went off to the thing. But knowing ourselves is what we're talking about.
Yeah, so you know, and then again, touching back on the thing where it's like, if you zoom out and you see this big picture thing, and it's like you couldn't possibly mess up things that would cause so much damage that the sun wouldn't come up the next day. And like you said, then you have bigger problems.
Yeah,
So
that's a lot. That's a pretty big problem.
so when you look at all of these like things and you know all of your failures and stuff, it's easy not to love yourself. It can be almost impossible sometimes to be like, how can I love a person who's made all these mistakes? But when you start to realize it, it's like every single person makes mistakes like that. And you only see one part of another person.
Oh, that's so true. And everyone we meet is fighting a battle we know nothing about.
Yeah.
Robin Williams, rest in peace. But so it's like, be kind, but remember, you're just seeing what they're showing you.
Absolutely.
And we're all actors. We're all some thespians in this world, acting a certain way. We know how to act when we go to church. We know how to act when we go to work. We know how to act when we're sitting in this space right now. I know how to act when I'm around another human being. But to understand yourself, that takes a lifetime, right? Self-actualization, right?
For sure. And and that's why you got to get out there and make memories and experience things so you can learn about yourself better. And honestly, you're just a passenger in your own life. I mean, you see yourself doing these things, and it's like if you could ask me, what's your favorite ice cream? I can give you a pretty good guess. But to be honest with you, I'm just paying attention to what I like the most. Okay. I couldn't tell you my real favorite ice cream. I can tell you what I react positively to.
Okay.
I have a certain kind of ice cream, or I go to a certain place and I'd be like, man, I paid attention to the way I felt about that. And that, and another person could probably have an even more accurate description and be like, you know what, I tell you what, you said that you might like this one, but you reacted even better this one time. And you're like, oh man, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's like you should know your own favorite ice cream. It's like,
but it changes.
It's like, no, you can forget about your own yeah, things like that. So
it does change because you come to Japan, holy shit.
Yeah.
Down by the Kentai, shout out to that little ice cream shop. You can get like fucking meatloaf flavored fucking ice cream. They sell some soy sauce ice cream, and the shit tastes like it.
Oh
Over
gosh.
At U Beach out there, they have tomato flavored ice cream, and it tastes exactly what it's. I mean, it's weird, man, but hey,
I don't know about that one.
Exactly, but it's ice cream, but they have all these different kind of flavors. So you might not even know that your favorite's just sitting out here in Japan, everybody.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, so you got to get that. You got to get out there, make these experiences, and understand yourself better. And that can give you, it helps to grow yourself. And you can understand, this is what I don't like. This is what causes me pain. And this is what causes me joy. And this is what makes me feel better. And the more information you get about that, the more you learn about yourself, the easier it is to move on from these things. Because when you see these big picture things, like I'm over here feeling like, man, I feel like an absolute loser because of this breakup. But if I had gone through 20 breakups, I probably wouldn't feel so bad. It could be the exact same breakup. And if I had done this 19 other times, then I've got more information. It's a big picture thing. Yeah. And all of a sudden, the world doesn't seem so small.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. And that's okay because we only know what we know, and we definitely don't know what we don't know. No, but it takes a lifetime to know ourselves. And I just had to actually pause the recording because we had a knock-knock at the door, and nobody was doing knock-knock jokes, but we have among us one of the best, always so clean he never has any fungus. Who is he? On stage, they call him CurtiMongous. We got Coach Curtis here, y'all.
Hey.
Coach Curtis, that's Coach Curtis right there, y'all.
Hey, what's good? Coach Curtis here. I just wanted to pop in, see what was going on.
Yeah, he's sneaky like that. He was sneaking. He coming through the rafters and shit over here. But nah, hey, Curtis is Curtis.
Hey, Curdy. Hi, Curdy.
Curtis is also one of our fellow aspiring artists in the area that come out to open mic and healthy outlets. And brothers, we're going along with this conversation. We're talking about knowing ourselves and seeking. Where were we at? We were at knowing ourselves. Big picture.
When you zoom out, the world doesn't seem so. Your life, your problems don't seem so important.
They don't. I mean, but that is not to downplay. Again, that's not to downplay anybody's trauma, anybody's shame, anybody's pain, anybody's guilt. But just while I have it on my mind, because I don't want to forget to mention it, but I was listening to. I always listen to weird stuff, but the way I look at it is, this is my metaphor: a car, right? None of us drive our car on purpose till it runs out of gas. You got the fuel gauge. I mean, some people, there'll be one smartass out there. There's always one who's like,
Well, actually, I ran out of gas in 2007 and, because my gauge was broke.
look, did you do it on fucking purpose, right? Usually not, right? Unless you're trying to do some insurance claim fraud, but that's a whole other thing, right? But we usually don't do that, right? We usually stop and do what?
We get gas.
You get gas. You fill up your
gas.
tank. So metaphorically, and what I'm saying is that it is imperative that we as humans, in the positive sense, keep our tanks full.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm stealing that off of Zig Ziglar. This is the 5th episode in a row I've referenced that great man, so y'all should look him up, right? But Zig Ziglar from Yazoo City, Mississippi, talked about your gas tank. But often, especially as service members too and veterans, but just people in general, Americans full of pride, right? We'll wait until we're on E. We will wait until we break down, and then that is when we go to seek help, or when we're like, oh, I need gas now. But hey, my point is, keep your tank full. So one of the things that I do, maybe you do this as well. Maybe you're like, fuck off, Cam. I don't even want to hear this shit. But one thing that works for me is I try to listen to a lot of positive things, right? it was a comedian in San Diego. I'm not stealing his art. I'm giving him credit. I can't remember his name. But he said that he was talking to a young lady, and she said that she was afraid to walk around the streets of San Diego because she was afraid she was going to be assaulted or hurt by somebody. And he was like, well, what kind of like podcasts and shows do you watch? And she was like, all of the true crime ones. And he was like, well, I watch a lot of fucking, Looney Tunes and cartoons and shit like that. So every now and then I'm afraid of like an Acme anvil falling on me. But other than that, and the point there is like, Zig Ziglar's point again, garbage in, garbage out, right?
Right.
It may feel, if you watch the news, you feel like every day there's a shooting in America, all day long, definitely. All there is shootings everywhere. But then you find yourself, and I know you just recently came back from the States too, in a line at a Walmart, and you're like, oh shit, it's pretty normal right now. There's not like there's not a riot outside, and there's not like shootings right now as we're happening. That's not to downplay those tragic events that occur,
For sure,
right?
You still gotta like just keep it in the back of your mind, but
be aware of it, but don't let it control you and infringe on your ability to live, right? So I try to, with all of that I'm saying, feed positive things. I'm an informed citizen, but I do not watch the info news networks. I don't watch them. All the talking heads, I don't need you to tell me your opinion on this and then try to sway me to your opinion. I will read for myself off a .gov or a .org resource or a .mil. I'll find out my news that way, and then I'll make my own informed decision. I don't need you telling me what you think I should think, and then, you know what I'm saying? I'm just not into that. Yeah. So on all spheres of that. But Dr. Gabor Mate said, when he was talking about our current state of depression and suicide and not feeling good and being overly sensitive nowadays, in the negative sense, right? In a negative sense. And you can listen to the episode. It's with Jay Shetty. Gabor Mate was on there. But he was talking about his book that he came out with, The Myth of Normal. But he said, isolation and loneliness are rising. If people experience pain and change and stress and even danger communally, this is where it got me. This is why I wrote this down. Communally, it's bearable. And this man, he was an infant during the Holocaust. So, but think about that. You share it communally, it's bearable, right? Yeah. He said, but when we're alone with it, it becomes less bearable. And in today's world, we're so isolated. We're so off to our own. And he said one of the major factors that's driving the sensitivity is just how alone people feel, which is not how we're meant to be. And it doesn't matter if you have a theological outlook on things, or if you have a evolutionary, it doesn't really matter, historical, whatever you want to say. All throughout all of those, the theme is, and what I'm getting at is, people need people. Humans need other humans.
Absolutely.
We are complicated apes, and we need to be a member of a tribe, but we are very isolated right now. And he's saying that it's making, the effect of that is making these feelings even worse. So, I mean, if nothing else, if you listen or hear nothing else on this, people, especially our people that are here in Japan with us, you know us, man, you are not alone. You are not alone, but you will often feel that way, and we'll feel that way, and because we're so isolated now and off to our own, and that's good to have autonomy and everything like that, but I just want to get y'all's opinion on that, like the community sense and or lack thereof. What do you say about this?
What people don't, when people feel alone, a lot of times you can have, and you do have, people will be going through the exact same thing that you're going through. They will feel the same emotions that you feel, and sometimes worse emotions. And if you knew those emotions that they were feeling, and you knew how much they were struggling, like, you wouldn't feel so alone. And it's so sad sometimes, because you can have just so many people going through, for example, heartbreak. Like, I've been going through heartbreak, and there's a guy in my shop that works right next to me who's going through the same thing. We both got dumped around the same time, and so, but
not by the same person.
Not by the same person. No.
That would make shit weird.
That would be weird. But you don't get to benefit from the community of feeling like you're not alone until the people express that. And there's this, and what I was saying earlier is that, like, when something happens that hurts you, and you have all this negative emotion inside you, all you want is you want a reaction. You want to express it. And that's just a natural thing that humans do. Is like when you have, like, let's say you stub your toe or something like that. And if you just sit there quietly, it feels like something's missing. You gotta express it. So you scream, you curse, you gotta smash something and stuff like that. You gotta get it out.
In North Korea, I heard that when they stub their toe, they say America.
Oh, really?
That's what I heard.
Yeah. So when you go through like a heartbreak and stuff like that, you want you want crying to happen. You want someone to miss you. You want something a reaction. You want an expression. You want to get it out there.
Validation.
Yeah. You want to know that, it makes sense and that these emotions exist. they exist and they're happening and they're changing the world and affecting the world. Something has happened because of your pain. And when people are feeling these other emotions, a lot of times people think, I got to do it myself. I got to be a man. I got to be independent. You know, I don't want to tell anybody about my emotions and stuff like that. And you never get to benefit from the community of it because you don't reach out to each other and express, hey, I'm going through the same thing. And other people, you know, like, so there's this thing, I don't know if there's a word for it. I call it room ratio. And it's when you have a certain energy in the room that if you provide that energy and another person feels like they need that energy, they don't feel the need to provide that energy. It's kind of hard to explain, but basically you can't have two people being completely silent and you can't have two people being extremely talkative. Usually if a really talkative person gets with another really talkative person, a lot of times one of them gets a little quiet and one of them gets really, really talkative. Because this other person, they feel like the energy is being supplied. You know, and
I'm good.
Yeah,
We're good here.
The talkativeness is being supplied, and I've had that happen to me countless times. Where when I'm hurting, and another person is hurting because of maybe it's the same situation, and they're the ones crying, it makes it feel like I don't need to cry. I don't need to be so sad and show this emotion because the emotion's being expressed.
Oh shit, that's a draw.
Yeah.
On that same letter though, one of the points in there is pain shared is pain divided. And we're all, like you said, we're all going through it. Like,
Yeah.
we never get over it. And he even says in there, and especially for us as, you know, veterans and things like that, we're a lot of island of broken toys up in here. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's kind of got some shit that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And they're just we're all just trying to make our own way, man. So are you saying that sharing it with others?
Yeah, for sure. When you start to express with other people, and that's why it's important, you know, like if there's communities of people, like if you lost a loved one, they passed away or something like that, you can find small groups with people who've also lost loved ones. And it's not just to be with them, but to express, hey, this affected me. Hey, this is a problem. And like I think, you know, a real life example, at least for me, is, you know, I've had times where I would try to like perform somewhere, and I went to like this audition, and there were these other people in line who were just as nervous as I was, if not more. And I thought I was the most nervous I had been in my entire life. I was sitting there just panicking. I couldn't sit straight or anything. But when I see this other person is just as nervous as I am, and they're expressing it, they're like, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. It calms me. And it's like, I sit there and I try to calm them down. And I'm like, hey, it's gonna be okay and stuff like that. And a little bit about like something that's been going on in my life is like I've got this breakup and everything like that, but there was an individual who was sexually assaulted a few months ago, and they reached out to me and they expressed what happened, and they've been going through a really, really hard time and stuff. And just talking to them and trying to be there for them and telling them, hey, everything's gonna be okay. I'm here for you. You know, you are cared about. You are beautiful. You know, you're safe. Everything like that. That helps me. Because even if it has nothing to do with my situation, the fact that, you know, you're helping another person manage their situation, you can be there for each other. And then she helps me and I help her, and we just tell each other, hey, you are loved, like you are cared about and stuff like that. And it's just so powerful.
And you're not blood relatives. Did you
No.
know each other in a previous life or back in the States or anything like that?
No, we've just known each other online for like 2 years.
But now know each other here locally.
No, she's still in a different country.
Okay.
Yeah, but
My point there is we don't have to be like brother and sister. We
For
don't have
sure.
to be kinfolk, as we like to call it in the South.
Yeah.
to have a bond or to be there for somebody. Or a friend of mine, shout out Angel Robles, veteran of the Fire Department of New York City, the one and only, and also a veteran Marine. But he said that blood makes you related, love makes you family.
Yeah.
And that can come in many ways, shapes, and forms. So
That's so true.
Keep that in mind, that, you know, your born family might not be, you know, your acquired family, that you come, that blood, it's but that love is what bonds you, and you have this bond with this person. And,
Absolutely,
and we need that. We need that validation, and, you know what I mean, we need to know you matter.
Yeah.
You matter.
Absolutely. And like I said, like that is something that I would encourage other people to think. It's like, if you're going through some really hard times, even if you feel like your life is really effed up and nothing's going right, the least you can do, go and volunteer for something. Go and help somebody.
Yeah.
And it could have nothing to do with your situation. Maybe it doesn't help your situation at all.
Right.
But it helps. It helps so much. When you
So
help
much.
other people, you show love to other people, I promise you, you will feel better.
Oh man, I'm so glad you said that. And I didn't have to say it because people are probably tired of me saying that on here. But to go external, to make your mess your message, or like you said, it doesn't even have to deal with your actual mess.
Right.
But you're being there for others. I'm sitting here, and you over here being quiet, but I'm gonna put him on the spot right
Yeah.
here because, like I said, he's Coach Curtis. What say you about that, my friend? And security at local events and shit too.
Yeah. So I've volunteered a lot, and I actually got like some big award for it and
Yeah,
stuff.
he did. Yeah, he did. Big ups to him. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Coach
thank you.
Curtis out here
Thank you.
doing his thing.
Thank you. And it really felt like, what's the word? Succeeding. Like it felt good to give back to the community, that because I live here and there's people that need help in different ways. So I go out there and try to help people as much as possible because it makes me feel good, and it brings good stuff to the community. I really like it. And like usually, like if I'm going through like pain or like suffering or something, I just write a song about it. Really.
Oh, we have another artist here?
Yeah,
What is
honestly.
this?
Very
What is
nice.
this? So you do volunteer, you reach out, you
Yeah.
do out. I mean, he does a lot of stuff around here. Trust me, he's Coach Curtis. They know who he is.
Coach
right?
Curtis,
He,
yeah.
he's Japan famous. Okay, but so music, volunteer. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Yeah. So like.
Ain't
Definitely.
nothing but a heartbreak.
Definitely write songs about like my pain and stuff, because that's how I get it out. That's how I really get it out. Like when I'm in there just playing on my ukulele, I don't even be thinking, it just be happening, and then boom, 2 minutes later I have a song ready. I'm like, wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
And all I gotta do is just go on my computer, hit record, play it all, boom, and I got a new song out. It's called Butterfly Lullaby.
Butterfly Lullaby.
gonna
And
have
you
to
can-
get
what
with you
that-
on
what's
that
that on
after this
SoundCloud?
podcast,
SoundCloud. SoundCloud, and the name is CurtiMongous.
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 love that.
And I love it because, and he comes out open mind, right? Open mind. Both of these guys right here, right? Open mind. Some people, you don't know that art may be your thing or that spoken word. We literally have a young lady that comes up and crushes it often. She comes out, right? Hopefully she'll be a guest on the show soon, but she does so amazing when she comes out. And she's reading off quotes that have helped her in her life.
Oh yeah.
And
Are
she
you
put
talking about the girl with the poetry?
yes, but some of it is literally already like she'll read off like Eleanor Roosevelt or
Yeah.
whomever, right? I can't think of all of the names, right? But she goes through these mantras and these things that keep her going. And she did it to the Interstellar beat, to the melody. We played it
Right.
over the
I remember that.
Bro, it was, you felt it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But my point there is that, like, okay, you all are musicians. I do the spoken thing. I try to do the poetry. I try to do comedy, make people
I would
laugh.
say you do more than try. You succeed.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. But we're all a work in progress. Got a lot of work to do and shit. But it's going outward. It's expressing ourselves. And like we talked about earlier, to live is to express is to live. But he wasn't even here when we were talking a second ago about that sense of fulfillment, accomplishment. How does that feel for you when you create, when you have that thing and now you have that tangible thing that's in the universe, like a butterfly lullaby? What?
Butterfly Lullaby.
Butterfly lullaby.
So basically, when I hear it, I listen to it, I'm like, damn, I did that. Like, yeah, I was like, damn, that's me. Like,
That's
100%.
what- You create something.
Yeah.
And you feel, you're like, man, I'm so proud of myself.
Definitely. I was like, wow, I really can't believe I made that. And then you have people come up to you and be like, dude, that song touched me here. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa,
That's a good
whoa.
feeling, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that effect you have on others, the most valuable currency there is. So
Yeah.
there you are feeling rich and shit because you done had that effect on people, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. Because and it's not just to be proud of yourself because you created that, a song or something like that. A lot of people, they don't like music. I've tried to like tell people, when I'm sad, I write music, and they're like, I can't do that. I'm like, okay, you journal.
Journal.
Do you know how to build with wood? Do you draw? Drawing is a really popular one. People love to draw.
Shit, just doodle, man.
Just
It's
doodle?
a stress reliever
Doodle?
too. They
Hey,
said
for sure.
They said during the Cuban Missile Crisis when they looked at Kennedy's notes,
Yeah.
he was drawing pictures of sailboats the whole time.
And
Sailboats, sir. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
yeah, and
Goddamn.
it's so therapeutic because you don't have to journal or anything like that. But it's like and another form of that is volunteering and helping others and stuff like that. Because when you donate your time or your energy and you help somebody do something, that's another form of creation. You are creating the happiness. You're fixing something in someone else, and you can look back at that and be like, I did that. I'm proud of myself because this person was here and now they're here. and I've helped them in XYZ ways. Maybe it's something really simple like picking up trash or something like that. And maybe no one will ever know you pick up trash, but you can sit there and think to yourself, I'm proud of myself.
You made things a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right? And that
You
that
made the
communal,
world a better place.
and it sounds, some people are like, that sounds corny, that sounds cliche. But shout out to the man who made that intro song that we were listening to, Uncle Rex, right? My brother. He said recently when I was in Cali and I was talking with him, and he was like, well, you know why shit's cliche, right? He said, because it's true. And I was like,
Yeah.
tell me more, right? But he was saying that if something was fucking stupid and false, you would never say the shit again. So the only way it ever became cliche, no pain, no gain, fill in the fucking blank, right?
Yeah.
Is because it's true and there's factual backup to that shit. And we know no pain, no gain.
Right.
We know that make the world a better place. You're here anyway. And that, like, it sounds cliche because it's true.
Right.
It's true. So say what you want, but is it making you a better or worse person? And if that mantra that may be seen as corny or cliche, or that's just cringy, hey, if it helps you, man, fuck it. Do that shit. Ain't hurt nobody. Try that shit out. Say
Definitely.
that shit to yourself. What are some things besides music, volunteering? If you're in Iwakuni, man, I know this man does it a lot with MCCS out here with Mr. Tony over there. If you're interested in that, man, it don't matter if you know the sport or not. Just get out there and fucking try. You know, I know you know how to physically condition somebody, or just make them run around laps or some shit.
I'll do that one.
Yeah, I know. But you never know like what effect that can have on that young person, or how much it might take you out of your. I'm gonna use some modern language. It might take you out of your feels.
Oh gosh.
when you have that outreach, like you can't be over there sad about a breakup when you're over here teaching 7-year-olds. T-ball.
Literally, you don't have time to like think
You
about
don't have
it.
the mental capacity
Yeah.
any longer.
Yeah, definitely.
What are some other things that y'all do? Because we're talking about building resilience, and then also being able to remain resilient, and then like you said it when we first started off, Benjamin, maintaining. That's sometimes the hardest thing is to maintain. Like we'll have these ups, we'll have these downs.
Absolutely.
And as a therapist on base, he says that we always have these highs, these lows, but really life should just kind of be this just steady, boring. And I'm like, nah, I need my highs. But then there's also lows, right? But I mean, what say y'all to that as far as other ways? I mean, music, obviously, and if y'all want to see it open mic, we do it at YOLO, we do it on base. See me on Facebook on Coach Cam Campbell. That's where I, what do I want to say, market it or fucking advertise it? Yeah,
That's where you push it, yeah.
That's where I advertise the word on where we have it at. But you can see both of these gentlemen perform for free. But one day, I promise you're going to have to pay money for that shit.
One day.
One day. But for right now, don't be judging us because it's free live entertainment.
right.
So
Yeah.
you get what the fuck you pay for. How about that shit? But besides
You
the
get what the
music,
fuck you pay
you get what the fuck you pay for. But it's a nice, cozy time, and it's just people together, broken people, trying to make the world a
right.
better place for each other. Like it or not, we're all we got. But what's some other things that y'all do to maintain resilience?
You know, looking back, the happiest that I've ever been in my life is when I had good people in my life. That is one of the most powerful things that has changed me is when I would have friends and a good friend group to rely on and stuff. And when I am constantly like interacting with them and maybe I'm just doing the best I can and they have problems and stuff like that, and I'll just be like, hey, you know, I can't fix your problems. You know, I'm not Superman, but I can tell you this advice that helped me. And it's like you ever hear like the people that are broken the most smile the most.
Oh, fuck yes.
And it's like those types of people. I had a while ago, there was a guy who was drunk and he had gotten into a fight with somebody, and so he was a little cut up and stuff. And then we had, you know, it became kind of a situation. And we were all just sitting around and we were waiting for more information to happen and stuff, but he's just sitting there and he's crying and he's with these two friends that are with him, and he's talking about, man, you know, I'm just a loser, like, there's no reason for me to be here, and he's crying and stuff like that, and he ended up, like, storming off, and then the other guy goes and helps him. And then, you know, his two friends are there, and I'm just kind of, like, talking with them and stuff like that. And this is all the while I'm still struggling with my breakup, and I feel like a piece of shit, too. But then we start talking, and I'm like, listen, like, I don't know what you guys have been through and stuff like that, but, you know, some things that helped me are, like, you know, you can build his confidence by, you know, small achievable goals. And you just got to be there for him, and you can do this, and you can do this. And as we got, you know, talking about it and stuff like that, they was like, you know, that's really good. Thank you so much. You know, how did you learn all these things? And I'm like, well, to be honest with you, like, I really need to hear these things. And it's because, like, I'm struggling with stuff like this all the damn time. I feel like my confidence is running on empty sometimes. That's one of my biggest issues is just not having enough confidence in myself.
I love that you're saying it. Not that sometimes your confidence. I'm not
Right.
like, ha, your confidence is low. Ha. No, but the fact that you're sharing it. Number one, thank you for sharing, right, and opening up. But the other part of it is too is that, but the perception is, like, you're a warrior. You're serving your country in a foreign land. And you're a musician and you sing like an angel. What the fuck are you sad about? How are you not confident?
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, what do you say you to that?
Yeah, no, it's and obviously, like, I would love for people to see me that way, where, you know, it's like that. But at the end of the day and stuff like that, I've got just as many problems as everybody else, and that's why it doesn't matter how good your life is. It doesn't matter how bad your life is. It's about your perspective, and it's about you have they've done tons of research on this, but they're like, you have people who are rich, and maybe your happiness can get a little bit better when you go out and you can buy a car whenever you want. But your problems, having relationship problems, having family problems, maybe there's a death in the family or things like that, those don't go away with money.
Oh, hell no.
Those don't go away. You still have insecurities, sometimes even worse. Sometimes you're still gonna stub your toe. You're still gonna feel like a piece of shit sometimes. Those don't go away. And that's why it doesn't matter, like, all of these problems. Here's the thing. They said, you're never gonna not have problems. You just have to decide, which problems do I want to deal with? Do I want to deal with the problems over here, or do I want to deal with the problems over here? But you're always going to have problems. It doesn't matter who it is, what they've been through. You could be someone with no money, where you barely have access to clean water or something like that. You're in a third world country or something like that. And you could be the happiest dude in the world.
That's so true. You see that.
Because you saw a leaf, and the leaf had a bug on it. And you see this bug, and you're like, man, that's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. I love that. Or you're playing with you know,
Rocks.
a rock.
I saw this meme where this kid was just having so much fun because he had a rock in his
Yeah.
hand.
And I would even go as far as to argue those people might even be happier than we are.
Oh, that's sometimes the truth, man. I honestly wonder sometimes when they talk about special needs people, right? Who's really in their right mind?
I know, that's
Right,
what I'm
because
thinking.
because think about the you know, you speak to somebody with special needs, they're generally happy, right? Or you look at
All the
children,
time.
right? And we got to survive, and we have to, you know, obtain professions and accumulate things and relationships and
Society.
It's you have to fit into societal norms, right? That's okay. But the fact of the matter is, you know, they're not focused, those children, and I'm not downplaying or trying to disrespect anyone with special needs, but what I'm saying is, like, they don't have time to be thinking about the negative or overthinking or dwelling. And you see the joy of a child or that child in a remote location. He or she ain't bitching about having no goddamn PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
They're
There
like,
you go.
I need to find me a new rock. Oh shit, there's more rocks. I'm a rock rich motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man,
But
it's just
I think what you said too earlier reminds me of Robin Williams again, but he said, I think the saddest people always try their hardest to make people happy.
yeah.
Because they know what it feels like to feel absolutely worthless, and they don't want anyone else to feel like that.
Absolutely.
Robin Williams, right?
Yeah.
It triggered me, so I had to look it up to find out exactly or recite that, because that's true. And it also goes into our perception or perspective of how we see others. You may see, hey, Curtis over here giggling his ass off over here talking about rocks and fucking volunteering and shit, but that's what he wants me to see. And he may be one of the saddest people among me, and I know no idea. I have no idea, but I have no idea of the pain or what you're going through, right? I just see what you show me. And how many times are those around us hurting and they're not showing it?
For sure.
And that can just build up and build up and build up and build up. And my point there is, don't be afraid to share things. It may not be the exact group that you're hanging with right now, but be careful with who you call friends. Be careful with the company that you keep, because they're either making you better or you're making them better, or you all are mutually making each other worse. But we cannot continue with the same behavior and expect different results, or continue with the same company and expect to not have the same drama. What say y'all about that?
You know, people don't have to have as many problems as they do. And I don't think anybody realizes that, or I don't think enough people realize that. That when we're talking about, like, the kid who enjoys just playing with rocks, you know, maybe he's just worried about, like, he's worried about not having enough rocks. He's worried about, you know, maybe it rained that day, or I don't know what he's worried about. And people, you know, for me with the whole relationship thing, maybe I should just be happy that I could have just found someone and just been like, I'm just gonna marry you. I don't have to worry about, like, if we're the right fit or anything like that. I'm just gonna marry you. I'm just happy to have somebody. But I'm creating the problem of, no, I'm worried about, are we compatible? I'm worried about, do I have enough money to do this, to achieve this? Do I have enough? And it's like, you don't have to have these problems. If you step back and you say, I'm grateful just to have food on my plate, just to have a place to live. And that's why being thankful and being grateful for what you do have can be so powerful, because at the end of the day, it doesn't effing matter. All we want is happiness in whatever way we can get it. And like I said, if you go your entire life happier, no matter where that happiness comes from, if you go your whole life being happier than the super rich guy who goes out and he gets any woman he wants, any car he wants, any lifestyle he wants, you're going to be happier than him. You lived a better existence than he did. You did more. And it's like you could have done less, but you're happier. That is the currency of the universe, is this happiness.
Or the joy that you can bring to others.
Or the joy that you bring to
Like you
others.
said, it's reciprocal, because when you give it to others, it comes back to you as well.
Exactly.
I just have to share this because I always got to quote this, right? But Dr. Viktor Frankl survived 5 concentration camps.
What?
Went to the concentration camp, the first one, with his wife and his parents. He actually stayed in Vienna longer, and he could have fled to the U.S., but he didn't because he wanted to stay with his family. His wife was pregnant. She was executed, murdered. So were his parents. Wow. This guy went on to survive 5 concentration camps and wrote one of the best books ever, A Man's Search for Meaning. But he said, this is what he said. He said, for success, like happiness, cannot be pursued. It must ensue, and it only does so as the unintended side effect of one's personal dedication to a cause greater than oneself or to a person other than oneself. So going that external, right? Yeah. Like happiness and success can't be pursued. It has to ensue. And I'm hearing y'all talking about the art, the creating of those things, whether somebody hears it or not, but when you get that fulfillment of somebody saying, what you said really helped me out, or when you see the volunteer work that you're able to do, what does Coach Curtis got to say about that subject of what we're talking about right now? And just you having been through something, and the benefit of it is the gratitude or the payback of it, you know?
Personally, it's like when I'm going through something like crazy, when like deep or something, I just think to like the worst time of my life. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna sound silly, but it was high school, and I was in indoor drumline, and in indoor drumline we were having 13-hour practices during Christmas break, 13 hours straight. Wow. That is crazy for like someone in high school. That's insane. That's a lot of time. Just like
the whole day.
It is literally the entire day, right? So I'm with these people, and we're all like getting agitated because we can't play the right beat, or whatever, drumline stuff, And I mess up, and everybody get mad because then we have to do it again and over and over and over.
Damn
repeat.
it, Curtis!
Yeah, literally. I remember this one time. So in Bailey Middle School, we would go to Bailey Middle School. I don't know why, but they let us do it there. And I was so pissed off. I walked into the bathroom, and then I beat up the paper towel dispenser.
What did it do to you?
I don't know. I don't know. I
looked at him the wrong way.
I was like, okay, I gotta go use the bathroom. I went and like, bow, 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 bow. I was like, well, that's broken. And then no one figured it out. No one found out. I'm just now admitting it.
Okay, so Bailey Middle School, if the paper towel dispenser is still broken,
yeah,
CurtiMongous was there a few years ago during 13-hour practices. All right.
And then so back in those times, it was rough for me. I don't know why. Probably because the people were being all pissed off at me, blah blah blah. Yeah. But then if something bad happens, now I just think about it. At least I'm not in Bailey Middle School in that hot ass cafeteria, freaking drumming away on this drum that I don't care about anymore, around these people who are always pissed off no matter what I do. And then I gotta do the same thing again. At least it's not that. So,
you're absolutely right.
So that's how I maintain my resilience sometimes. Like
he didn't say boot camp.
No, not boot camp. Boot camp was easier than that shit.
Going to a foreign country. He didn't say any of the other challenges in life, being co-located from family. He's talking about Bailey Middle School, 13 hours. Hell yeah.
And then,
but what's hard to you or what's hard to me or to Benjamin, it's not the same universally because we are different. 100%. So I'm glad you said that and brought that up. But.
And then the weirdest thing about it was my section leader, who was the most pissed off at me because, if I did something, she'd be like, oh, you have to fix this or blah, 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 right? And she would be the most pissed off at me. And it turns out, like, we became, like, the best friends ever. Like somehow, some way, till this day, she calls me her brother, and that is like my big sister.
But y'all didn't like each other at one time.
No, we hated each other.
Okay, so that person that may be hard on you right now is actually, that's causing so much stress in your life. It may actually be somebody actually looking out for you.
Yeah.
They just don't know what they don't know, or they may not be the most, they don't have the most effective delivering of said message to make you better. But
That could be so true.
you never know. I mean, I remember that growing up. Some of the people I got in fistfights with were some of my best friends later on.
Absolutely.
It's like we had that mutual respect, and like the lion had faced the lion or something. We weren't lions, but it was like rabbits. I don't know what it was, but
Hey, rabbits can be.
but you can get that.
They got them legs. Like,
That's true. You gotta be quick, man. But you can get them that mutual respect for each other. So I mean, how did it evolve though? Like, because initially it starts off you're punching paper towel. Were you depicting a human being the paper towel roll, or you just naturally
hates
beef
paper
with paper towel rolls?
I don't know what it is about that paper towel roll. It was like it's like the plastic ones, like the plastic covers, like you just push in and it comes down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hate those ones.
Yeah, I got done peeing. I was like, all right, I need to wash my hands, and then all of a sudden, bow, 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 just all of a sudden, like this rage came out of me, just out of nowhere.
paper towels, just like what the heck, dude?
I didn't do
Like,
anything.
I'm just sitting here like I'm just trying to be helpful to people.
The worst part is it was we had to practice the next day. Of course, the kids like went to school the next day, right? And then they left, and then we went to practice, and then I got back in there, and it was still broken.
Oh man.
So the whole day was still broke. I was like, man, I wonder if the principal can get me in trouble for this. I don't even go to this middle school anymore. I'm in high school. Like,
Oh man.
like
How long ago after though?
So
So last week when he went on leave, he went back and the paper towel roll was
it was
still.
still broken.
But I think it's a good depiction of the initial relationship you have with somebody can eventually grow to something different, right? But also, hey man, check your stress levels. I mean, luckily it was a paper towel roll, but
Could've
it
been
wasn't.
somebody.
It could have been somebody, right? And to keep your temperament in check, and we all got to do that self. I loved it. I had Coach Chan on a few weeks ago, or a few days ago, really at this point, but. She was saying that check in on yourself, kind of do that self inventory, like how full is your cup of tea, time, energy, attention. Obviously, 13-hour practices, stress, the rigors of.
Yeah, that's rough.
Back to back to back.
I mean,
for an entire week.
So
Oh my
hey,
God.
It was worse than boot camp.
you just
It was worse than boot camp.
You just never know what's gonna stress somebody out, or maybe you could go through it now, right? And you wouldn't be met with the same amount of stress or affect you the same way because you've grown since then. You've become a more resilient person. He's actually not in his head and saying, fuck no, he'd still be stressed out. So we just want to avoid all 13-hour drumline practices. But I think resilience, similar to any other thing we're talking about, whether it's physical exercise or your musical capabilities or abilities, it's something that we have to sharpen and hone, and we have to focus on making ourselves stronger. And you can't just say, oh, well, I passed that physical evaluation, or I did that one performance. I got it. I'm good now. Yeah. What do y'all say about that?
No, you have to continuously find things that make you happy in life. It is a never-ending battle, unfortunately.
And fulfilling. And
Absolutely.
And things are going to build your resilience, like to test yourself, to know that you have that growth, that you won't punch a paper towel.
Right.
All right, I'm going to stop with the paper towel. That's my last one. Sorry.
You can't just do a few good things in your life and be like, okay, I'm good. I ended it on a good note. Now I'm just gonna go the rest of my life riding that high. Like it just doesn't work that way.
Complacency kills.
And as much as I wish that you could do that, you could be like, yeah, I did something amazing, and that's all I need. And you don't. No, you need to constantly allow yourself to, maybe you go back a little bit and you have a need, and then you do something really small, but you achieve something. Like just the other day, I was feeling like a loser, and I was trying to like figure some stuff out with my bank account. I wanted to figure out if I could if I add this much money to this account, it should be exactly this number. And I was doing the math in my head, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not that great at math. And when I added it and I got the number right, it kind of set in where I was like, I feel really good about that.
Did you hear the Dora song where they're like, I did it, we did it.
I was like,
All right.
I was like, that was such a small victory, But that actually helped me a little bit.
Man, small victories count too.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be obviously something like that. It could be something as small as like, you get a fish or a plant and you water that plant every day and you watch it grow and you're like, this plant is relying on me.
Yeah.
Every time I water this plant, that's a small victory. Every time I do this, that's a small victory. And it's like, that's why you got to be grateful. You set yourself little victories and stuff. And there was this story of a real life story of a Japanese TV show back in like 1998 or something like that, or maybe I don't know the exact year, where they were going to live stream this guy, and this is pretty fucked up.
I think I know what you're talking
You
about.
might, yeah, okay.
He was surviving off sweepstakes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this guy, these people entered a contest, and this guy won the contest, and he thought, I'm going to be famous and all these things. So he volunteered basically to be on this show. But the show was basically that he was stripped naked. He was put in a room.
Whoa.
Yep, he was put in a room, and
It
he
wasn't
thought,
a Black Mirror episode.
No,
right.
he was put in a room where there was basic necessities, but not really any things. And the goal was, can you survive on just entering sweepstakes, and you can only survive on your winnings. Now we're talking, you get water and bathroom and stuff, but you have no food, no clothing, no bed to sleep on, nothing. And this guy, he's like, at first it seems like a fun challenge. He's like, all right, let's do this. And as he enters these sweepstakes, he's got like no luck and he can't seem to find anything. But then at some point, he gets a bag of rice. Yeah. And it's just a 5-pound bag of rice. And he is so happy because it's like you step back, you have this need, and it's like it could be worse. At least I have this bag of rice. And then at some point, he gets, I think he got like a small TV, and then he got a video game, and then he got a video game player, and all those things, and he was the happiest he had been
Ballin'.
in months.
Yeah, he was so happy. He was having so much fun.
Happy, and it's like, that's all you need. You take a step back, and it's so easy to get overwhelmed where it's like, I've got all these things, and I want more. I want more.
I want more.
And when you
more,
can't
more,
have
more,
more, when you can't have more, it makes you feel like, it sucks. It's like, man, I didn't get the promotion I was wanting. I didn't, or this person that I liked, they didn't like me back. And it's like, no, dude, like you have what you need. And if you just understand that, like you could be in a room with no clothing and no bed or no company, and you get a bag of rice, and you're the happiest that you have been in months. And so these small victories, these little things and stuff like that. As you achieve these small victories, it can be powerful. And like I said, get a fish and feed the fish, or water the plant, or work out every single day, or as many times as you can. Yeah. And these small victories are what get you through life.
Sometimes you just need that one. You started off with this. Like, you're feeling down, I don't want to get out of bed, whatever. The gentleman I had the other day, MC Ricky T, he was up here, and he's talked about the Admiral McCraven speech about make your bed. Like,
right.
Sometimes that's all you need for momentum to get going, right? And you just need these small victories. But guess what? Victory is a victory is a victory. Whether it's a Super Bowl or it's a preseason game, you won, right? So
That's a football reference for anyone out there.
but I mean, they add up. But one thing we talk about too on here a lot of times is that making good choices. And shout out to Janet Tang for giving me this ditty. But she said, MGC, make good choices. Make good choices. Sounds very simple, but they're so fucking complicated. Mm-hmm. But days or seconds make up minutes, minutes make up hours, hours make up days, and days are the story of our life, right? So it all adds up is what I'm getting at. So make good choices. You might not know what those choices are, but there are outlets, I'll just say specifically for Iwakuni, you go over to Semper Fit, they can put you on that little gauge machine. You can find out like everything about your BMI and all this kind of stuff. They'll put you on a nutrition plan. Maybe you don't know the best way to work out or exercise or some of the things we talked about, but you can reach out to Semper Fit. There's resources there. Thinking about the counseling, and just, you might not know how terrible the trauma is affecting you still, or you're recreating in your lives, but hey, it's okay. It's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to ignore it to the point where you can make an irreversible decision, right? And you do make an irreversible decision. A lot of times people do that. They keep the shit locked in and they don't express it, whether it's through music or through friends or through community or through reaching out, and it all just kind of goes in because, I mean, you guys on this base, y'all live in that, what is that mansion they call the Bricks?
The barracks,
Yeah, the barracks, right?
Yes.
The bricks.
They call them bricks.
Yeah, but what's one of the more common ways that y'all see people deal with their issues or
Vaping.
find releases?
Alcohol.
Vaping, alcohol.
Yeah, sadly, yeah. And
So things that end in
anger.
INE and then alcohol?
Anger, and they go and they, or they'll try to find women, just very cheap relationships.
Yep.
That's not healthy coping mechanisms
Or,
at all.
good one, gym.
gym.
Oh, in the gym.
Yeah,
and
that
and
was good, though.
those are all a very bad combination because then when you're dealing with like cheap
Oh, man.
relationships,
Vaping,
alcohol,
gym.
and then go to the gym. No, the gym can be a good thing, but it, just like all things, too much can be too bad. It can be bad.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's people out there collecting stamps or entering sweepstakes. It
Yeah.
can be unhealthy, right?
It can be too much.
Anything can be too much and not healthy, but I think the exercise piece is a pretty good analogy because I think we all understand the physical framework of that. But same thing when you go to therapy or if you talk to someone, right? Like that's kind of like the gym session, and anyone who exercises or anything like that, that's kind of the fun part, right? That's the nitty gritty, that's the fun part. Afterwards is where everything comes into play. I can't go and work out and have this giant swole session, right?
Yeah.
And then go and drink the rest of the night.
Right.
And that feed my body that while it's in recovery. Is it going to be strengthened?
No.
No, it's not,
You
right?
you get rid of all the work.
You'll
you
probably
just
burn
did.
some calories or whatever because you sweat and things like that, but you're not going to really become stronger from said workout. And also for males out there, it's a testosterone reducer like a motherfucker as far as alcohol is concerned. So I'm not a prohibitionist. That shit led to NASCAR and to gangster movies. That's not what I'm saying. But there are too often in our culture, Western culture as a whole, but military culture where the only outlet, the only vice, or the most sought after vice is drinking. And that's where they find the community and stuff. And we all have our own reasons for coming to that, but it shouldn't be the only outlet you have. And similar to exercise, it's the stuff outside of the gym and outside of that counseling session that really pay dividends because you're doing that self-work and you're taking care of yourself, getting the proper rest, getting the proper hydration, stretching, all those things outside of the actual physical activity of that 45-minute swole session or whatever.
Yeah.
That's where the payoff comes. And it's the same when you go talk to a therapist or talk to a counselor. Like, you can't expect to just talk to somebody one time and everything to be okay. It takes more and more and more. And I reiterate that, and some people are like, God, he said that the first episode. Well, maybe you didn't hear it. Maybe you need to hear it again, okay?
Yeah.
Because it takes a few times to make things make sense. But you can't just expect one time going to talk to somebody or one time or 3 days on a trial prescription for everything to be made better. Like, give it some time, try it out, have an open mind, and do not seek the thing that will never be found, which is fucking perfection.
Right.
It will never be found, right? It will never be found. You may get closer to it or a more better situation. That's more what we need to look at is more better. How can we make our situation a little bit more better?
Yeah,
right?
and it's all a perspective too. Like it could be better to you or worse to you based on just like it's all what you judge it off of. And that's why so many people can be insecure because of like what other people say is because they are awarding their self-value. They're determining their self-value based on if they can achieve this goal. If this person likes me, I'm worthy.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
If I have money, I'm worthy.
Yeah.
If they don't say mean things to me, I'm worthy. If I do good at my job, it's like, no, these aren't the standards that make you a valuable person. Let me tell you what should make you a valuable person. Am I helpful? Do I love? Do I care about other people? Do I allow myself to feel emotions? And when something fucked up happens, how do I feel about that? Does it hurt me? That's a good thing. That is a good thing. If you can feel pain from something that's fucked up. Yeah. Now, obviously, it's not a good thing that it happened.
Right.
But too many people just go numb. And I tell you,
Or try to escape it, right?
They try to escape it through alcoholism, through meaningless relationships, and they just want attention and they
Material
just want
items.
material. Yeah. They buy things, and they will ruin their life from that because they never deal with the roots. The roots have gone bad. And until you go back and you step back and you realize the root of this problem is the fact that I'm not dealing with it. I'm not allowing myself to feel these emotions and get over this issue, this trauma that happened to me. And it could take a lot of processing. And I definitely can understand that like some very fucked up things happen to people sometimes, and it may take sometimes years to get over it and stuff. But I promise you, you go out and you help other people, and it makes you feel like I'm not a piece of shit. Like I'm a decent human being. And maybe what happened is in the past, and it's just one of those things where there's nothing you can do to really directly fix it or anything. All you can do is you cry and you just let it out a little bit at a time. You cry, you take care of yourself. You help other people. Maybe you feel bad again, you cry and you let it out a little bit more. And every time you do that, you allow yourself to be sensitive, because that is something that I dealt with for the longest time, was just being numb. or being too numb to something. I didn't cry during sad movies. I didn't cry when I felt bad about something until
hard.
yeah. I felt like crying is weak or whatever. But then once I like had this whole breakup thing and everything, and the fact that I found out she had met someone else and she had been getting hanky panky with that person, and that was horrifying to me. And once I started crying about that, it was hard to cry at first. But the more that I started crying, the more I realized, you know what? I'm letting this emotion out. I'm letting myself be vulnerable finally. It's okay to have emotions and to have a heart and to feel pain. What's important, though, is that you take care of yourself afterwards.
So vital, so vital.
And so many people, I talked to a person just at work just the other day, and I said, I'm actually really glad that I'm able to cry about all this because as bad as crying is, it's like I watch a movie now and I see something emotional happen, and I didn't used to feel emotional at it, but now I can feel these emotions. I feel these deeper emotions.
Well, that's good too, because you're not a sociopath, right?
No, yeah.
Because that would be scary. Be like, it doesn't bother me. Be like, oh shit, he probably cutting up kittens.
And you can be happy when you see something happy happen to a person. You can feel the joy, and when you see something sad happen, you can feel the pain. And honestly, it's beautiful, and it's like it's unlocked like a new sense of joy in my life, is to be able to feel these emotions deeply and not just be numb to it.
But it's also living.
It's living, exactly.
You are living.
Exactly.
And with living comes the blows of life, but can we endure them?
Yeah.
And can we learn to cope with them? What say you about that, man? Like, as far as the numb part of it, and I mean, what's your take on what we just talked about?
Well, personally, if I feel pain, I just write a song about it. I don't understand it most of the time. It just comes out. It comes out through my fingers into my ukulele, out through my voice.
Yeah.
And whatever comes out is just how I've been feeling. And like, I usually don't ever understand it. Like, these songs that I make, if y'all listen to my music, I'm gonna end up on Spotify and Apple Music next week.
That's right. CurtiMongous. How do we spell it though? How do we spell it? So we got the
CURTI.
Uh-huh.
And then Mongus. So MONGOUS.
All right, y'all got that, folks. Hey, fresh out the press. You can get it on SoundCloud now, but next week it's gonna be on Apple and Spotify.
Yep.
But this is how you deal with being in your feels.
Yeah, so I'm in my feels.
I love saying that shit.
When I'm in my feels, I just start strumming, and then something happens, and I just like, y'all ever seen like Ninja Turtles and how they have like the white eyes? They're like in that zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like swing, killing people and stuff.
You get all John Wick and shit.
Yeah, that's what happens to me. I just start playing, and just like all of a sudden, I just play like this whole ass song that I'd never even thought about, even made or anything. It has all lyrics and everything. I'm just like, damn, I just made a whole ass song without even like trying.
Yeah.
And then I press the record button.
But what if, this is the thing that gets me sometimes, right? And this is what I'm starting to realize when I'm older. I'm a little older now. But sometimes it feels like when I look back on life, not to dwell, but to reflect, right? So that GGBBR, right? Grateful, good, bad, better, then reflect. Sometimes I'm starting to realize, as I'm getting feedback from other people with what we're doing and kind of the movement we're starting, that it's okay not to be okay, and that you're not alone, and that pain shared is pain divided, right? And like it or not, we're all we got, right? One team, one fight, sympathia, tomoni, right? All of those good little bumper sticker things, but to actually live it, I feel like some of the things I've been through, the conversations I've had with people who have been able to tell me that what I've said or how I've guided them has helped them, I'm grateful for the pain, and I also realize that maybe teach their own on this, but God, the universe, put me through these things to make me valid enough or to feel compelled enough to be able to use it to help someone else. Because that's what humans do, we help each other. But if you have never been through certain pain, if you had never experienced these certain things, would you be able to feel as compelled or as motivated or as inspired to help others, or be able to relate to the pain that person in your shop is going through, or to be able to write the music that you're writing or to create it? So it's like, take that energy and use it for something good and put it into something good, because
That's powerful.
it just hit me recently, right? And one of the things I'll quote this article sometimes on building resilience from the APA, the American Psychological Association. Anybody who goes to college, you know what APA means, right? Site sourcing and all that bullshit. Yeah. But one of the things it says is avoid negative outlets. And it says it may be tempting to mask your pain with alcohol, drugs, or substances. Listen to this. But that's like putting a bandage on a deep wound, right? Focus instead on giving your body resources to manage stress. Okay, so resources to manage stress rather than seeking to eliminate the feelings of stress altogether, because maybe that stress, that friction is there for a reason. Just like when we exercise, you're literally putting stress and friction on your muscles to where why are they painful, or why is it painful the next day? Because they've broken down, you've torn them down. Now they have to build back up. But they only build up the right way when you feed them the right way and you rest them the right way. So I'm starting to appreciate that now, that I'm not mad at anyone. I don't hate people of my past, people I felt have wronged me. They only knew what they knew. They didn't know what they didn't know, and they're broken people too. But through going through certain things, through experiencing things, and sometimes it's been my fault too. So the own pain, shame, and guilt that I put myself through, it's made me feel valid enough to be able to speak to someone else. Not like a know-it-all, or not like I'm some fucking guru or some shit. Yeah. I'm not fucking Yoda, right? I look way better than Yoda, by the way. Right? I got more hair too. All right, he's kind of giving me the side eye, like you kind of Yoda-esque.
Oh, he's like,
I know
I think Yoda. Yeah.
I know I kind of look like the dude off of Goonies and shit. The, hey, you guys, right? I've been told that shit before. That shit used to hurt my feelings when I was a kid. Chunk, love chunk, right? It hurt my fucking feelings. But the other thing to what you said is finding purpose. And it says help others. It says whether you volunteer with a local homeless shelter or simply support a friend in their own time of need, you can garner a sense of purpose, foster self-worth, and connect with other people, and tangibly, this is big and important, not reposting some shit, but tangibly help others, all of which can empower you to grow in resilience.
100%.
And what resilience isn't, folks, what it's not, and it has a part in here too, is not that you don't feel pain. It's not that shit doesn't bother you. Definitely. That's not what resilience is. Resilience is being able to go through things, sustain them, maintain, and come out of the other end and do like the great Sam Cooke said, rest in peace, keep moving on. That's what it's about. I can't sing good, y'all. I'll leave that to y'all. Can y'all do keep moving on? Can y'all say keep moving on?
I don't know the lyrics.
Can you just sing keep moving? Just sing keep moving on. Okay, that's him.
Okay, keep moving on.
Yeah, I'm gonna post a song in the show notes. One of the greatest songs ever, though, Sam Cooke. Gone way too soon, one of the greatest singers ever. But that song is all about just keep moving on. At the end of the day, I add it all up, but you just have to keep moving on. Yeah. And so resilience is not being able to be invincible. That's not what we're saying, but it's able to take the hits and keep moving forward. And about you right back. And we're fucking full circle on that shit there. But the pain of traumatic events can lead some people to isolate themselves.
Absolutely.
But that also goes to what Dr. Gabor Mate was talking about on the Jay Shetty show. I always want to call him Jay Shetty, but it's Jay Shetty, right? He had that book, Think Like a Monk, but pretty good guy and had some awesome guests. I actually had the pleasure of having Kobe Bryant on the show before he had passed away. And I know it's a celebrity. I'm not trying to glorify fame or celebrities, but one of the things that Kobe said that reminds me of this, everyone, and this is to live our best lives that we have while we have it, is he said the biggest mistake we make, this is so fucking eerie that he said this, is that we think we have time. That dude was just being a good dad that day and taking some people onto a fucking trip and not having to sit in LA traffic to go to a fucking game, right? Like, not a perfect human. Not many people are, right? Made mistakes, whatever, have your opinion of him, but he was a good dad, right? And there he was trying to be a good dad that day, but he had just said that quote not long before that, the biggest mistake we make is thinking that we have time. I say that because all of us are dealing with pain. We're all broken in our own ways, but there are ways to make things more bearable, and maybe, just maybe, you're going through the shit you're going through in order to use it to help someone else one day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people go, well, that fucking makes sense right now. You might be in the thick of it, right? And I'm not downplaying your experience or saying it's okay because you could use it to help somebody else. I'm not trying to say that. But what I am saying is on that perspective piece, maybe you're only going through it to grow through it to be able to use somebody else. Yeah. I would love to say I can claim to go through it, grow through it, but Joel Osteen said that shit, not me. So,
you know, something I was thinking about is like, what exactly is resilience? It's being able to withstand, you know, when things get thrown at you. And if you could look at it like a person who's in like a hurricane, and you've got this wind that keeps pushing you, and what do you need when you're being pushed by them? What you need is an anchor. What you need is something to hold on to. And the way you can visualize it is when you make connections with people and stuff, people use that as their anchor. They say, everything's okay as long as I have this. And if you depend too much on something that doesn't last or that could be volatile and go
like
away.
a high?
Yeah,
like
if you
a material
exactly.
high? Or like I got that shoe, but now it's the shoes in my closet? type
Yeah,
high?
yeah.
Okay.
Some people depend on other people in relationships. That's what I did. And when that anchor let me go, I'm lost. I'm being blown away by the wind. I'm going everywhere. I don't have enough to hold on to be resilient. This pain is just breaking me down and stuff like that. I need a new anchor. And what you do is you don't need to focus all your energy on holding on to this. You don't hold on to this. You spread it out. You put an anchor in friendships. You put an anchor in families. And it's like a string, right? You put your string, on this or on a pet, or like I said, watering a plant or something like that. Or you put an anchor in yourself. That's one of those things that's a strong anchor if you can maintain it. But here's the thing about those things is that like life is hard and that wind will keep blowing. That wind's not gonna stop blowing, and sometimes those anchors break. Sometimes the girlfriend that you put all of your self-worth into, they're gone. Or, the family member, they pass away and those anchors break. And so what you do is you have to continuously add new strings. You find something to be grateful for, or you did something tangible, and that just adds tangible. That adds a new anchor. You can say, I'm holding on to that. I love myself. I can hold on to that. And that's why when one of those anchors breaks, you still got some more. You're still there. Yeah. You're still holding on. You're resilient. You don't have to let that wind, that hurricane blow you away because you have more anchors. You are grounded. And the more things that you can hold on, but you got to maintain that. You have to maintain it. You can't just sit back and let it happen because eventually one will break and you've got 10 strings, right? One breaks, you got 9, then you got 8, then you got 7, and eventually it's going to count down. And if you don't keep maintaining that, you keep loving yourself, you keep finding things to be appreciative of, helping other people and finding new connections and making new friendships and things like that, you got to maintain it.
You got to. That's imperative, man. What say you about that, Kurt?
I was going to say one thing before I leave. So
he came late and he's leaving early, everybody.
Yeah, basically.
And we didn't have no food, but go ahead.
I have a plant at home, and his name is Tree John.
I love that.
My name's Tree John.
And I water him all the time. And I'm like, you know what? If Tree John can make it with just water and sunlight, maybe I can too.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fucking real though, man. I mean, fuck yeah, Tree John. Hell yeah.
Hell
Tree John
yeah.
movement, everybody.
Shout out
Tree John movement.
What would Tree John do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
WWTJ.
Yeah.
What would Tree John do? But on the same note though, with you doing the coaching thing,
Yep.
how many times, and I just want to ask, but I know it would help me, right? On a Friday night, you want to get fucked up, you want to go sit in the quad, sit in the smoke pit with all the smoke pit philosophers and
Yep.
shit, right? But you're like, fuck, I got to coach at 8 a.m. Has that held you back from maybe making
Yes.
But
yes,
that's
it
just that
does.
one thing to get you through that one Friday night.
Yes, it does. Because, man, they're having a party in the smoke pit. Like, Walker, do. Come on out.
Come on, CurtiMongous.
Come on, Curtis. Come on out. And I was like, I got a football game tomorrow. So
I mean,
that got me through some of the stuff,
It can help, and sometimes it's just putting those outside things to make you accountable, to give you a reason not to make a bad decision. And I'm not saying exercise and sports are the only way. There's other things. Shit, the chaplain on base needs help with Awana. There's Commonwealth events that you can work out through the chaplain and things. That we're out here, they're going to the local Yoshins and they're doing things. Something to make you go outside of yourself can give you strength. Now, obviously, don't misinterpret what I'm saying and saying that if you have an empty cup, that you don't need to refill your cup and then pour it out. But in pouring into others, you get some stuff back, too. It's just a weird thing. I don't know how to explain it. It just works. It is what it is. People need people. Humans need humans, no matter if it's just going to coach that football game or if it's reaching out to that friend. But we need that community, and part of what the great Janet Tang told me before was that make good choices, but the other side of it too, the MGC times 2, is move, gratitude, and connect. Yeah. So if you're in a shitty situation, man, you're not gonna feel better by just sitting there in it. There's a time to be still and calm your mind, and maybe something will come to you, but at the same time, that doesn't mean just lay in your bed and feel like shit. All right? Humans aren't made for that shit. We're made to get up and move and go find your mission in life, and that's sometimes for especially veterans, we had to find that next mission, and we can have a whole episode on that because that means a whole different thing. But you have this one mission in front of you for 20 years or 4 years or whatever, and then you get out and you're like, which by the way, only inmates and active duty members say get out. But I don't know what the fuck that is, but I've noticed it as a social thing. But we say get out, but people get out and they don't know what that next mission is. got to know what our next mission is, and it may just be getting up to go coach that youth sports team. It may be just talking to that friend, but that move, gratitude, and connect. Get your ass up. Action doesn't follow mood. Mood follows action, right? So,
Hey, I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna go for a walk when I feel like it.
you'll never feel like it, but first off, it just won't happen. And if we only worked out or exercised or moved when we felt like it, we would all be fat fucks and very
so
unhealthy
true, though.
because
So true.
So, just get up, get moving. And I'm not saying go out and be fucking David Goggins or go out for a fucking crazy run. Just walk. If you're somewhere near water, be near water. It's the essence of life. Like, it really is. Be water, my friends. Shout out Bruce Lee. Rest in peace. But move, gratitude, and connect. And by connect, I mean that could be you have this online friend that you're so tight with, right?
Yeah.
2 years online, not in your physical capacity, not in your physical space, but you're still able to connect with this individual.
For sure.
It could be calling back and doing what you did, what you scared the shit out your mama when you jumped out of this fool. He went on leave and put a video. He hid in the trunk of a car and didn't tell his mother he was coming on leave. His mother went to the trunk of the car to open it up, and CurtiMongous jumped the fuck out and almost put her through an epileptic. Yeah. It was amazing though. She really loves her son, but it was like 3 minutes of what looked like it'd be a seizure, but it wasn't, right?
She was
She's
hugging
okay.
me so
Mama's still good, right?
You got it on video?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was screaming
We're
and
gonna
stuff.
talk about that later.
We need to post that shit in the show
didn't see
notes.
that.
But just connecting, having that community, man. Like it or not, man, we are all we got out here. Wherever we are, really. You could be anywhere in the world, but if you're around decent company, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? But maintain good company. I'm not trying to preach at anybody. I'm just trying to say things that will make your shit maybe a little bit better or a little bit more bearable. But we cannot, and Justin said this 2 episodes ago, we cannot, like Albert Einstein said, continue the same behavior and expect a different result. That is literally fucking insanity. It's fucking insanity. So if you don't like something, change it, man. Change it, ma'am. Change it, sir. Change it, bro. Change it, whoever the fuck you are. And maybe something different will happen. But if you want to keep having the same results and the same pain, keep doing the same fucking thing. Yeah. And that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about growing and being the best version of you, of you, of you. Not being better than Benjamin, not being better than Curtis, being the best version of you. What is your max potential? Yeah. Try to be that. We're gonna have to wrap it up here, guys. But I appreciate y'all being here so very much. The art y'all bring. Come out to the open mics, show support to Benjamin and Curti up there, man. I can call him Curti, but it's the CurtiMongous.
Okay, you can call me Curti. That's what people online call me anyway.
All right, he's not gonna let us know his online profile, but it starts with Curti. I don't know what the rest is. We don't want to know. Like people putting applications and resumes and shit, and they have like their fucking first email, and it's like Curti Dragon Slayer at it. What the fuck? Make a more official one, man.
It's just CurtiMongous online anyway.
CurtiMongous, man. So you said next week. Apple, Spotify, CurtiMongous. He going everywhere, man.
Yep.
And
With
his
a new
shit,
song, too.
I love it. But Butterfly Lullaby,
Yep.
we're gonna plug that right there, man. But please help share this podcast with other people if you think it can help. If you don't, then why the fuck you still listening? Okay, it's a free country, it's a free world. Just fucking turn it off. Don't be mad, okay? If we offended you. Don't really care. That's not the point here to offend people, but it's to have authentic, real resilience talk. Let's pass the mic to y'all. What y'all got to close out with, fam?
Yeah, and honestly, just saying it out loud, it's honestly even helped me too. That like I've had this bad habit of just like, if I have a friend or something like that, like, and they don't seem like they're gonna be my best friend, then sometimes it feels like I don't want to be their friend at all, and I'm just kind of like, I am sabotaging myself by not allowing myself to have these anchors, and that's what I would leave people with is just like. There's so many ways that you can hold on to more than just what happened, and you can hold on to these anchors and be like, no matter how hard life is, I've got the people that I'm helping, and I've got the friends that I have, and they're there for me, and I'm there for myself. And when you go out and you help people and you keep moving forward, and you be grateful for the things that you do have, and that life, when you zoom out, life isn't as fucked up as it seems sometimes. And maybe it still is. Maybe it's even more fucked up than it seems. But it's like you focus on the positive because that's all really that matters is that you care about yourself, you take care of yourself, and that you stay happy. And that's not to say that you don't, allow yourself to feel sadness when necessary and feel like a deep range of emotions and stuff. But like, it's good to hold on to that because that's all that really matters. Curtis?
Self-care, man. Self-care. It is fucking real, and it is necessary. Don't ignore it to the point where you make a bad decision or a permanent decision over temporary shit. What you got, Curti? CurtiMongous.
CurtiMongous. Find a healthy outlet and then do it.
That's it. Find it and do it. That's
Find it.
fucking real.
Show it.
Nike that
like
shit, man. Nike that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all listening. Ladies, gentlemen, whoever you are, humans of the world, we appreciate you. Just remember, man, no matter what you're going through, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Please don't choose a permanent solution over a temporary problem. Like it or not, we all we got. One team, one fight. This too shall pass. Thank you, Uncle Rex, for the track. If you want to hear more of this track, Monchichi Rex. Second Winds is the name of the track. Look him up. He's on everything. Apple, Spotify, Monchichi Rex. Uncle Rex, we love you, man. Love all of y'all. Hope this makes you better. Let's just be the best version of ourselves. This too shall pass.